This video is brought to you by BetUS. Use code Iceman. You're going to get 125% bonus matching your initial deposit. So if you use the current deposit on their website, you're going to get a split between casino and sports. If you use code Iceman, you're going to get 125% all for sports, which is what we want. This is what we do here. So use code Iceman at BetUS. BetUS is the number one sports book in America. We've been around 25 years and they allow you to use cryptocurrency. How cool is that? You can cash out and deposit in crypto. That is amazing. That is the future of betting. You're going to want to use BetUS, available in US, Canada, and Europe. So no excuses. Use BetUS, the real deal. Check them out. Try them out. If you don't like it, you don't. No one's forcing you. But check them out. Use code Iceman. You won't regret it. All right, what's happening? So, no UFC, obviously, this weekend. We do have a Formula One. I'm going to drop the picks for that video. But I'm going to do a little recap of the last UFC, and I'm getting a lot of messages and just things of what do I think about the main event? Who do I think won? Was it a robbery? And just what do I think about it? So let's start from my picks. So if you guys seen our prediction video, we went 7 for 7 on our male fights. I gave 8 predictions in total for the UFC. The only one we lost on was the women fight, the main event. I told you I got bad luck with women fights, so I try not to bet on it. I didn't bet on it, but I still lost on my prediction because Ketlin Vieira did win the decision. But on our all our fights, other fights, we hit them all. And I wasn't getting any hate this week, which is surprising. I usually like getting the hate, but yeah, no crazy messages. Just congratulations to all you guys that made money betting on my picks because I seen some of your guys' receipts. So good shit, boys. Good shit and girls. But yeah, I'm hearing a lot of what do I think? Was that a robbery? You hear all these professionals saying, "Yeah, I thought Holly Holm won, but I'm not mad they gave it to Ketlin, but it wasn't a robbery." Wait, what? What does that mean? So you're saying Holly Holm won, they gave it to Ketlin, right? It's a close fight. Everyone knows it was a close fight. So you gave it to Ketlin Vieira, right? But you thought Holly won, and you didn't think it was a robbery. How does that not make any sense? I don't care that if you win by an inch or a mile, it doesn't matter. You're still winning the fight. That's like saying, "Hey, it was a close game. I only won 1-0, but we gave it to the other guy." It's like, wait, what? If that fight, like, it could be dead even, they still have to predict a win or give a winner, right? Or if it's not a draw, right? But there's someone still winning in that fight. So whether they won by a large amount, whether they just dominated the fight or they barely won, they just barely won. And if you didn't give it to them, they got robbed. You know what I mean? If they did enough to win, but you didn't give them the win, in my opinion, that's a robbery, right? They were robbed out of their win bonus. That's double their money in the UFC, right? UFC fighters get show and win money, so that's double what they should have got. And I'm hearing that so much. Oh, it was a close fight, but I don't really say it as a robbery. It's like, but you picked home to win. Whether you pick Ketlin or home doesn't matter, right? But you can't say it wasn't a robbery if you thought the other person won the fight. It just makes no sense to me. I mean, I know this is fighting and it's close, and you see with the Anders fight, right? Like, what are these judges watching? One judge has it 30-27 and the other one's got it 29-28 for the other dude. And you guys are sitting beside each other. What's going on here? This can't be so off. There's something off with these judges. It's completely nonsense, dude. It's driving me nuts. It's going to ruin the sport of MMA. You watch, because this is going to happen more and more and more. This bad judging is going to ruin the sport of MMA. And it's a very simple fix. very simple. It's called open scoring. It will completely change the sport of MMA. Just even going into the next round as the fighter and the coach, you know your fighter's up or you know your fighter's down. Like, it's common sense. The fact that they don't want to do that tells me there's just so much corruption behind the scenes. They're just these commissions, these judges, the UFC. They want to control as much as possible, and keeping that scoring not open allows them to do that. You see, after fights, sometimes they're taking a long time. There's judges like, what are you doing taking so long? You just seen the round. That was a dominant round. Why are you taking so long to write the scorecards? What are you changing on there? It drives me nuts. But I know they're supposed to hand in the ballot between every round, but it's just, I don't know, very corrupt system. It needs to be fixed. Open scoring will change this. It will literally change this entire sport. It's actually going to make fights more better. I don't know how you can't see it, right? You see the fights 1-1. Oh shit, um your coach is telling you you're up to, compared to if it's tied to. Now you're like, oh, I gotta put it on. Look at Trevor Whitman, the idiot, telling Rose she's doing great. She's up 4 rounds. No, she's not. What, you don't know what these judges are watching. You can't tell her she's up 4 rounds. You have no clue if she's up 4 rounds. She could be up 3 rounds to 1. It could be 2-2. She could be down. You have no clue. You have no idea what these judges are watching. And one judge might favor one person and they might give it to the other person, which is completely just drives me nuts. I don't know how you give someone 30-27, you give the other person 29-28. It drives me nuts. And they're sitting beside each other. It just drives me nuts. But hopefully this open scoring will fix it up. I went back and watched the fight. Holly Holm won that fight. I don't care. Sure, did Ketlin Vieira land some good, strong, cleaner strikes? She landed the more power punches. Sure, but she was, for a part, like, there was rounds where she was on the fence, literally couldn't move. Holly was pinning her against the fence, controlling her for 4 minutes and 30 seconds of the entire round. Ketlin might have broke off and landed something, but dude, there's no way you can give that round to Ketlin Vieira because she landed one strike, but she was being controlled that entire round. I don't care if it's in the standing position. She's got to get out and do something. Her coaches didn't even think she won the fight. Her coaches, Andre Pederneiras, was screaming at her, telling her how she's losing the fight. He doesn't know, and the other coach doesn't know. But just crazy. Needs to be fixed. But yeah, I'm gonna lose my shit if I keep talking about this. But this video is brought to you by Thrive Fantasy. Thrive Fantasy is a daily fantasy sports and esports app for player props. Thrive has $50,000 guaranteed in prizes for MMA, all major sports, including esports. You're going to want to take a bet with these guys if you're into fantasy sports, stuff like that, fantasy football, fantasy MMA. You're going to want to bet with Thrive. Use code Iceman now, and you will get 100% deposit bonus matched. They are the real deal. Check them out. Download the app. It's free to download. Check them out. Thrive Fantasy. Use code Iceman now. Yeah, I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on it, but there's some crazy upcoming fights I wanted to talk to you guys about. Just keep your eyes open for this card coming up, June 25th card. Um, I don't know if UFC or ESPN have posted it, but you got to check this card out, dude. It is crazy. I'm surprised. I would pay for this card. If it was for money, I'd pay for that. That's how good the fighters on this card are. So the main event is Mateusz Gamrot versus Arman Tsarukyan, and that's next month, June 25th. In the co-main event, you got Neil Magny versus Shavkat Rakhmonov. So most of you guys know Gamrot and Tsarukyan, both ice picks before. I love both those guys. Man, that's going to be a crazy fight, dude. I don't understand why they're matching these guys up right now. I'd like to see them when they're both higher up in the rankings get matched up with each other. But whoever wins this fight, you're off to the top 10, top 5 easily. No problem. Mateus Gamrod's grappling is so good. He was in the last ADCC. And I'm not talking about ADCC trials. Like, oh, yeah, I've competed at the trials. No, I'm talking about ADCC Worlds, the 16-man bracket for each weight class. The best grapplers in the world. Top 16 in each weight class, ADCC. Mateus Gamrot was one of those 16. That's how good Mateus Gamrot's grappling is. Now, Arman Sarukian is a crazy grappler himself. He was the only guy I think landed a takedown on Islam Makhachev, which is crazy. And he was stuffing some of Islam's takedowns. That fight with Islam showed me how good Arman Sarukian is and that everybody's got to take notice of this guy. He is a savage. I'm assuming, odds haven't been out yet, but I'm just assuming, I know Vegas odds makers, they're probably going to make Arman Sarukian a favorite in that fight. And I don't know, man, Gamrot, I don't know if you'd be wanting to take him down. I think Sarukian's probably the better striker. On the ground, though, I don't know. That's going to be very interesting because Gamrot has a crazy background. And he might have the submission edge where Sarukian might have the wrestling edge. So that is a fight to look out for. When I seen that, I was like, geez, that's going to be a crazy fight. High level fight. And I love watching these super high level guys go at it. Next is Shavkat Rakhmonov. You got to watch out for this guy. This guy might be the next champ at welterweight behind Khamzat Chimaev. If it wasn't for Khamzat Chimaev, there would be so much hype around Shavkat Rakhmonov. Crazy fighter. Fights out of Kazakhstan, I believe. He's taking on Neil Magny. I think it's a bad matchup for Neil Magny, man. Everywhere. Shavkat Rakhmonov is just an amazing striker. He's got a good ground game as well. Haven't seen him in the deep waters, which he will be tested most likely if he doesn't finish Neil Magny. Neil Magny's got a wicked gas tank. But after watching Shavkat Rakhmonov fight, he doesn't expend a lot of energy. He's a super intelligent fighter. And I seen him in the second rounds. He looked good. So I'm assuming in a 3-round fight, he should be fine. So I think Shavkat Rakhmonov is going to slice through Neil Magny. And I'm going to bet a lot of money on Shavkat Rakhmonov. I hope he's not a huge favorite, which I'm assuming he probably will be because Vegas odds makers are smart. I'm assuming he's going to be a big favorite. I hope he's not, though, so I can parlay him with Sarukian and my other boy on that card, Umar Nurmagomedov. Anytime you see a Nurmagomedov, you might want to take him. These guys are on some next level shit. People are always like, man, you're biased against Dagestanis. Maybe. You know why? Have you guys been to Dagestan? Any of you guys? No? Dude, there's nothing to do out there. I live in the city, right? We can go clubbing. You can go to nice restaurants, go lounges. Bro, there's no lounges in Dagestan. You think there's clubs in Dagestan, bro? These guys go out at night. They ain't going to clubs, lounges. They ain't drinking, partying like we're doing down here, bro. These guys, a day out at night is going wrestling. These guys are going out at night doing fucking sambo, doing striking, dude. There's nothing to do down there. So that's all these guys are doing is training, bro. And they're doing it since they're 4 years old. You see kids there doing MMA, sambo, wrestling since 4-5 years old, dude. And that's all they do down there. There's no going out. We're going out to the lounge and having some beers. Yeah, sure, buddy. You're going out and wrestling. That's what you're doing. That's why these guys are so good, dude. There's no distractions out there. That's all they do. And you best believe when they fight, I'm gonna put money on these guys, and because they're gonna win, man. You're not surprised. You see all these Dagestani guys; they're all undefeated right now, dude, or they have like one loss, and it's to some other fucking Russian, dude. These guys are gonna take over the UFC. You mark my words. In a few years, you will see like welterweight, lightweight, middleweight. It's gonna be all Russian champs, dude. There will be a time, just like before, when it was all Brazilians running the show. Then for a time, it was the Americans, the wrestlers. Dude, the Dagestanis and these Chechens and crazy Russians, they're coming to take over, bro. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, just wait and see. They're coming for the takeover. And I'm not Russian or Dagestani, but I know I grapple with these Russians, dude. I have so many Russian guys that are my gym that I got to grapple against, dude. They're savages, savages. And even guys coming in a blue belt, I'm like, bro, you're a blue belt? He's like, yeah, I'm a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, but I've been doing sambo my whole life when I grew up in Russia. It's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. It's like, that makes perfect sense. Like it's this all they do, dude. They're doing sambo in schools. Like we have PE class down here. They have sambo. They have wrestling classes where they. This is all they do. This is why they're so good at it, and that's why I'm gonna put my money on these guys. So you got to tune into that June 25th card, man. It's gonna be a banger, dude. Can't wait for that. I hope no one pulls out. And yeah, the next UFC I believe is June 4th, and the one after that is the main event with Glover and Prochazka. Man, that's going to be a crazy fight too because Glover Teixeira. I like went back just to watch some of their old fights, and I'm not too concerned about watching their fights from 10 years ago because that's not the fighter they are today, right? I don't need to go watch Charles Oliveira when he's getting choked out by Pettis, when he's getting beat up by Felder. That's not who he is right now. I need to watch him recently, right? And that's what I like to do with some of these other guys. I'm watching their recent fights, right? Of course, recency bias, but I watched Prochazka's last few fights. Man, this guy will take a shot to give a shot. I think he lands 7.2 strikes a minute and he gets hit 6. Like this guy has got an iron chin and he's just got an iron will. He will take a shot to give a shot. Now, on the other hand, Glover, he likes to have that Mike Tyson style. He keeps his hands up super high, bobs his head, and he hits super hard. He's got a crazy left hook. And if this fight goes to the ground, Prochazka is in big trouble. You've seen Dominic Reyes get Prochazka to the ground, and I'm telling you, if Glover gets you to the ground, he's a lot better than Dominic Reyes, dude. This is a whole nother ball game you're talking about when you're talking about these high level jiu-jitsu black belts on top position. So I'm gonna really study that fight some more before I hit you guys with my prediction on that fight. A lot of people are counting Glover out. Listen, do not count Glover out. I don't care if he's 48 years old, which he's not. I think he's 43, I believe. But listen, don't count out Glover. Do not count out Glover Teixeira. He might get knocked out. Don't get me wrong. This Prochazka guy's the real deal. He might get KO'd, but he might actually finish Prochazka. You guys are going to be surprised. And don't be surprised if that fight goes the distance. And if it does, you'll probably see Glover winning that fight, probably going to grind him out the distance. Because Prochazka seems to have a pretty decent ground game from what I was seeing. So he might have some good defense and maybe he's got a good chin so he could take the beating. So I still got to do my research for that one. But man, that's going to be a great fight. But yeah, so tune in. Out.